Hello, West Tatnick Elementary School families. I hope this finds you all safe and well and enjoying a Monday morning after an amazing, beautiful fall weekend here in central Massachusetts. I want to spend a little bit of time with you today and talk about how we can continue to support our students in their online learning. First, I want to say thank you very much for all that you've done as parents and caregivers up to this point in helping facilitate the online learning for our students. We understand that this is a challenging time and a difficult time for all of us at home who are with our children in trying to facilitate this learning. But you guys are doing a great job, and thank you very much. Without your partnership and your collaboration, we would not be able to deliver the high quality instruction that we have been doing to this point. So thank you very much. What I really want to start off with is talking about how to support our children in their online learning and what that looks like. So really, first and foremost, supporting our children for all ages, from preschool all the way to grade 6, is really making sure that our students have a quiet and productive learning environment. So that they have an area in the house that is set up for them, a home office in a sense, that has their chair, some kind of table, desk that they can have their computer and their materials on, and they can have a quiet space to learn. And so I understand with multiple children in a household that can be difficult at times, but that's really the first thing that we can do to support our children in their learning. Next is also very important, is really helping them manage the online platforms that we use. So if a child has issues getting into Seesaw or Google Classroom, getting into Clever, really trying to help them and support them get into where they need to be, and navigate through different online meetings, whether it's their classroom meeting or a special area meeting. Those are really important things that we need to be doing in terms of supporting our students. As we look at assessments and how we measure students' growth, one of the things that we ask is that we allow our students to do those independently. And so I know that it's our nature as parents to want to help our children. But when it comes to student assessment and monitoring progress, we really need to ask that parents do not help their students, their children, when it comes to those assessments, because what we're measuring is really how the student is growing in relation to a specific content area, a specific standard. And so if they receive help in that, then the information that we get is skewed. It's not a true reading of the child and where they measure up against a standard, a state standard. And so as we know, it's difficult to watch your child struggle, and they're asking for help and they want help and support. We do want you to know that students will struggle and students should struggle in school. That means that they're being challenged. It also will help inform us of what we need to do in terms of moving forward in our teaching. So if a child is receiving help from their family, and then the teacher's going to say, well, all right, this child understands it, and they're going to move on. Whereas if a child is struggling and the teacher can see that, then the teacher will know to adjust their plans accordingly and then cover these things again in another lesson. So we really need to ask that as your child looks to you for help, or if you just have that feeling that you want to assist them in their academic content or assessments, please hold off, because what that will do is that'll really skew the data that we have that we use to inform our instruction moving forward. So we all know that it's with good intent, and we hate to see our children struggle. But one of the things about school is that we need to make it challenging, and that will in turn have the kids struggle a little bit in a healthy way. And our classroom teachers are monitoring that and making sure that all the kids have exactly what they need to be successful and to be productive. All right, and that's a difficult thing again, and I know that. But the other thing is, for our older students, a big responsibility that we have at home is to monitor what resources they're using. So our older students, if they are in math class, for example, and should not be using a calculator, if you see them using a calculator, you might ask, hey, are you allowed to use that? Because again, if they're using outside resources, whether it's online or a calculator or whatnot, a phone, to help give them the answers, that skews the data. So the teacher might think, okay, they understand it and they have it, and their next lesson will move on to something more difficult. but if the students truly don't understand that, the teacher wouldn't know. And what we need to do is get a true reading of the students' progress towards standards. And so in order to do that, we need to be able to monitor, are they using devices such as calculators or online tools that would help them find answers. In some cases that's allowed, and other cases it's not. So it doesn't hurt to just ask them if this is something that they're allowed to do, and just monitoring that. So that is a huge help, and will be a huge help to all of us, and we would appreciate that greatly. The next topic I want to talk about are the cameras, and I know that this is a topic, an issue that is debated in all households, but we here at West Hattonach would love to see your students' faces on the cameras. And so as a district, we don't require that students have their cameras on, and that's fine. And there's many different reasons for that. And so if you don't want your camera, if you feel that your child should not have their camera on for whatever reason, that's fine. Please communicate that with the teacher or with myself. You can do it privately, and we'd 100% honor that. However, what we're running into is some students don't have their cameras on and they don't have their microphones on, and when they're called on, they don't respond. So there's a number of different ways you could respond without having your camera on. You can unmute your microphone and just verbally give an answer. Or if you're self-conscious of that, you can mute your microphone and respond in the chat feature. However, sometimes students log into a meeting and their camera is off, their microphone is off, and when they're called on, they don't respond. And that leads us to believe that they're no longer attending. And so that's an issue that we're having to deal with. So we would love to see your children every day with their cameras on. And again, if there's a reason why you feel that your child should not have to have their camera on, please talk to us, and we'll honor that 100%. But we do expect to see these kids and have them participating one way or another, whether it's through full participation with the camera on, the microphone on, or if it's with just through the microphone, or if it's just through the chat. We just want to make sure that they're engaged and they're participating, and they're getting everything that we have to offer from our online instruction. So that's really all I had to talk about today. If you guys have any questions or comments or concerns or feedback, please feel free to email me at jyoung@worcesterschools.net, and it'd be my pleasure to get back to you and help you out. So again, a heartfelt thank you for all that you've done in terms of helping with facilitate the instruction and the learning with your children. It's greatly appreciated, and we look forward to continued collaboration as we move forward. Thank you, and be safe.